Hello, my spooky friends.
My name is Cassie.
And I'm Caitlin.
And welcome into I'd Survive. Okay. We're recording this episode, 4 days after the last episode we recorded?
This is true.
So I have not watched any new horror other than the movie that I'm covering today.
Valid. I've watched 3 horror movies.
In the last 4 days?
I got Shudder and now I can't stop.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm so happy you're finally on the Shudder train.
Exactly. No, I watched a movie called Last Straw on Shudder, which was a movie. It was fine. It was cute. I enjoyed it. But it wasn't anything special. And then I watched a movie called Getaway.
Oh, I've seen that, I think.
What the hell?
Yeah, it turns...
Yes.
Are we thinking of the same movie where it turns and it's actually really comedic with its turn in the final stretch?
Because the whole movie is kind of funny. And then out of nowhere, it's oh, that's not where I thought this was going. It felt like at first it was trying to be Midsummer. And then and then it was oh my God, I don't even remember if I watched the ending. I might have fallen asleep. But I was I don't know what's going on. So I did watch that. And then I watched my next episode, so I won't say what that is, but
oh my God, did you tell me?
Yeah.
Oh yes, it's one that I've not heard of. I remember, but I haven't even heard of that one.
That one's on
that's
Shudder.
Intriguing. Okay,
yeah.
Getaway. I just watched for the first time a couple months ago, and I remember I enjoyed it. And I like a weird, quirky humor horror movie. And I thought that the actors just pulled it off so well. But then when I went and looked at reviews and stuff, people hated that movie and were it's so gimmicky, it's so stupid. And I was yeah, but the gimmick is what makes it fun to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a movie where I couldn't tell if I loved it or hated it. It was very much there were moments where I was this is so stupid, but then moments where I was I kind of love this. So yeah, I recommend anybody, if you liked the vibe of Midsummer. Now this is a less serious. Now part of it is just because it's in Sweden.
I can't remember, but that could be right.
They got the flower crowns in this one. Let me tell you that much. But if you like that vibe, this is kind of that weird, insane, funky, your moments of what the hell did I just see kind of thing. But comedic. So
I watched Clown in a Cornfield this week. And this is a movie that has caught both mine and Caitlin's eye over the last couple of weeks because it's been floating around on Letterboxd, and it's a Shudder movie. Sometimes I will say I'm confused sometimes with Shudder because they claim a lot of things as Shudder originals, but they're not. They bought them and then just call them Shudder originals, which is allowed, but it confuses me sometimes. I don't get all that.
I don't either, because Netflix does the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of Netflix originals are movies they just bought and had nothing to do with the production of. So
right. So this is one of those situations.
Yeah.
So
gotcha. But I didn't even realize that Shudder claimed this film.
Yeah. Okay. So I was confused because it is a Shudder film, but then I went on Shudder to watch it and it wasn't there. And I was so I ended up buying this movie for $25.
Ew.
I know. And I do fear I wish I didn't.
Oh no. I mean, listen, I don't think this is going to be a good movie, but I'm so excited to hear about it.
I'm curious how this episode of the podcast is going to go because it's one of those movies that isn't my favorite, but it has its good moments and then it has its not so good moments. And
valid.
I just I'm curious to see how you feel about it because I might be jaded. I might be in a haze because I stayed up way too late working on the script. I've been doing way too much this week. I just got back from a vacation and I'm scrambling to keep up with myself. And I honestly, last night, I did not want to be writing the script, but I was no, I want to get back on track with the podcast. We're going to do it. But then I think it added something to my brain where I was fuck this movie. I don't even care.
That's actually so real. Especially when you get to the end of writing the script, you're just
yeah,
I'm so your brain starts twitching out and you're I can't even do this anymore.
Yeah. No. Was it even worth it? So it's going to be so funny if you love this movie and then I'm oh, I was just tired.
I was
chill.
a little sleepy. Yeah, no, that's you know what? That's so valid.
Okay, so Clown in a Cornfield is based on a book of the same name by Adam Caesar or Cesare. And the book came out just in 2020.
Oh, wow. I didn't know this.
Yeah, I really do tend to love, I should look up, I bet there's a wiki page of like horror movies based on books because that's always really fun.
Yeah, we've done a lot of those lately, I feel like.
Yeah, The Ritual.
The Ritual was, and so was There's Someone Inside Your House. That was also a book.
I forgot that was a book. Clown in a Cornfield was released as a young adult horror.
Ooh.
Which obviously when it comes to the movie, we get like a full R rating thanks to the gore, but it's just interesting to me that a book like this got away with young adult horror. I think that's like becoming less, I don't know, the line of what is young adult is becoming more and more blurred over the years.
Yeah, that's kind of sad, but so true.
It first premiered in March at the 2025 South by Southwest Film Festival. But then in May, that is when we first saw it rising the ranks on Letterboxd, and it was thanks to its Shudder release, which I'm still confused about because where is it on Shudder? I don't know.
What? That I'm curious about.
But other than that, there's really not anything important as far as background info for this one, so let's get into it. So...
Why are you already laughing?
This movie. Okay. I will say this is like, we're kind of returning to the basics here. We're like going slasher mode.
Love it.
You know what I mean? Our survivability score is going to be back to what we're used to, like as far as how we get there.
Hey, that's fun. You know what? I love that.
Yeah. So welcome to Kettle Springs, Missouri. It's 1991. And of course, we start in a cornfield.
Good.
Perfect vibes. But there's a big bonfire blazing on the outskirts next to a barn, so we focus in on that and find a big group of teenagers, underage drinking, and like being horny, classic teen horror vibes.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah.
I've seen it before, I can see it now.
We've seen it too many times. We also notice that it's not just a barn that they're partying next to, it's like, I think it's part of a factory, and it has the words Bay Pen brand corn syrup emblazoned on its side. So it's either like part of a factory or like a station where like the corn syrup factory stores stuff or something.
Gotcha.
And one of the teen girls around the bonfire is sitting there in her own little bubble, winding up a Jack-in-the-Box toy.
I thought you were going to say in her underwear, like for some reason.
In her own little underwear. Ew.
Wait, not like that, but okay.
Young adult Caitlin, okay?
I'm so sorry.
But this little Jack-in-the-Box toy that she's winding up, it's got Bay Pen written on its side, signifying that it must be some merchandise from this corn syrup factory. But she's winding it up until finally a fun little clown pops out.
Aw, cute.
And when it does, she shares a mischievous expression with a boy that's been watching her from across the fire, and she gives him the nod to follow her before walking off into the cornfield, which, okay.
I mean, is that okay?
I don't know if I would want to go like into a cornfield alone, like not even alone, but like with anyone like in the middle of the night. Like that's not fun vibes to me. I'll stay by the fire.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Once they're both in the cornfield, this guy's like, wait, babe, I thought we were going to get high. And then she just takes her top off and smiles at him. And he goes, oh, yeah, okay, we can get high later. So she starts...
Nice.
Amazing starting dialogue.
Really?
She starts running off through the cornfield all giggly, and the guy's pretty wasted, so he's kind of having a hard time keeping up and like keeping track of her, to the point where he loses sight of her completely.
Uh-oh.
He's calling out her name, no response. I think her name's like Jessica or something. And he sees a giant shoe print like in the mud, and it's like shaped like a clown boot, you know?
Yes.
But he sees this giant shoe print and he goes, damn girl, how big are your feet? And then he just keeps following the prints, trying to find his girl.
Okay. I'd survive, period.
Yes. Oh, 100%. And eventually Jessica jumps out at him through the corn stalks, and he gets jump scared a little, but is happy to see her. But she's like clinging tight to him. And then all of a sudden she coughs up a shit ton of blood, like right into his face.
Cute.
And he's like, what the hell? She drops dead to the ground. And then a clown, dressed exactly like the one that popped out of that little Jack-in-the-Box earlier, makes himself known, squeaky shoes and all. And you know what's going to happen. It's time for this boy to die. The clown catches him, spears him clean through his abdomen with a pitchfork, and lifts him high into the sky. And he's dead. And he's just like dangling over this huge cornfield. And the title card, Clown in a Cornfield, appears on the screen.
Oh, there is the clown in the cornfield, actually. Would you look at that? It's right there.
Main character energy.
Main character energy, like literally.
Yeah. Then we cut to some exterior shots outside on a cloudy day. We see a car with like a big enclosed trailer attached to the back driving down a country road, and they drive past the Welcome to Kettle Springs sign. Also, to start the opening sequence, the year 1991 popped up in red on the screen, and now we get the word now. So like it's present day, but the exact year is ambiguous.
Okay, gotcha.
Inside the car, we meet teenager/main character Quinn and her dad, Glenn. And Quinn's looking out her window at this town that they've just arrived in, judging hard. She does not look impressed. The town looks like pretty run down. It's definitely long past its prime. Literally everyone out in the streets are old people that I'm sure have been born and raised here. 2 of them are hanging up a big poster for the town's upcoming Founders Day. So clearly the people who do still live here do have a lot of like pride and spirit at the very least. But it's not giving like Gilmore Girls cute small town.
Yeah.
So anyways, Quinn's not feeling it, but her dad is very high energy, rapping along to like the 80s rap that he has on. He's excited to be here. They pull up to their new house that's kind of run down just like the rest of the town. And as they go inside, we get a little backstory. So it's just them, no mom in the picture.
Okay.
And they're moving to this town because her dad is a doctor and he's been hired as like a family physician here in Kettle Springs. And they're actually moving into the house that the town's previous doctor used to live in.
That's kind of weird, but
isn't it weird?
That like feels like you're filling a role not just as the doctor, but like as the doctor in the town, like the character of the doctor. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. Like there's something weird about that.
I feel the exact same way. I'd be so uncomfortable. I was like, am I just judging? Because it's like, I guess when you have a super small town that is literally just not building anything new and staying where it's at, like I guess it would make sense to just like, we have a doctor position open for a reason. He left.
Yeah.
And that's the only house available. But I'm like, nah, it's weird.
That's weird. I don't like it.
Quinn's not the biggest fan of the house, and I don't blame her. It's kind of a dump. They find a dead raccoon in the chimney, and worst of all, there's no cell service. So,
yeah, that's always a good sign in these films.
Yeah. It's going to take some getting used to. The next morning, Quinn comes down to the kitchen ready for school and sees her dad standing in the kitchen really zoned out with a coffee pot in his hand, but like the coffee machine is still running and just making a mess, like pouring into nothing.
I've done that more than once.
Have you? I mean, I don't have a coffee pot.
Okay, not with the coffee pot. I have a Keurig, and more than once I have forgotten to put the mug underneath.
Oh.
And I just make the coffee. And then I go back over and I'm like, girl, what were you thinking?
Whoopsie.
I've done it more than once too, which is the worst part.
Oh, honestly, I probably would too. So Quinn doesn't seem surprised at all by this behavior, and she snaps him out of it, and she comforts him and is like, hey, everything's going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And he agrees and is grateful for like her positive attitude, and then offers to drive her to school. And she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm 17, so I don't need a ride. I need a car. So wild statement.
Yeah, right?
But,
jeez.
So she decides that she'd rather walk. Are you one of those people, or were you one of those teenagers that was like embarrassed if your parents had to drop you off somewhere?
Absolutely not. That was like never a thought that crossed my mind. I feel like we see it in media a lot, but like I don't know if that's a real thing. I'd be curious for people listening to let us know, because like none of my friends ever felt that way. I never felt that way. It was just like, we have parents that take us. Like, I was grateful that my parents were willing to drive me places. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah,
I agree. I never had a problem with it. Didn't know anyone who had a problem with it. I would find it weird if someone did. Like, girl, it's okay. Like, your mom just dropped you off. What else are you supposed to do?
Right. Like why is that embarrassing to people?
Yeah, but she decides she'd rather walk, and when she opens the front door to walk out, this boy, like her age, is just standing on the other side of it, and we get a little jump scare. Mm-hmm. And this boy's a little off-putting, I'm not gonna lie. He comes off as like very monotone and blank behind the eyes. But he's like, hey, I'm Rustin Vance, but everybody calls me Rust. And we're just sitting here like, okay, hello.
Cool.
And Quinn's dad sees him and is like, oh, hey. And they pick up on the fact that he's a neighbor. So he asks if Rust could walk Quinn to school. And Quinn, of course, is like embarrassed.
Yeah. Now that would embarrass me.
Yes. Yes. I'm like, please don't force this person to do anything, you know?
Yeah.
But Rust is like, well, yeah, that's why I'm here, sir. So like, okay, kind of, I guess that's nice.
That's nice, I guess. Yeah.
So yeah, Rust is going to walk Quinn to school. The walk starts off quiet and awkward, and then they start talking, and then it's still awkward. So she tries to ask what people do for fun in this town, and he's like, oh, we got a lot of hunting and fishing, if that's your thing.
Definitely.
She's like, oh, yeah. And he picks up on her vibe and promises that not everyone is a, quote, redneck around here. But also that she should be careful with who she hangs out with because, quote, there's a lot of weirdos around here.
I believe it.
Yeah. And she laughs at that and is like, yeah, I'll keep an eye out for the weirdos, Rust. And we just know she's laughing because she thinks Rust is one of those weirdos.
Absolutely.
We find out in class, which Quinn is late to, and her teacher really is like extremely annoyed with her, doesn't care whatsoever that she's new. One of those just annoying ass teachers. I don't know. You know the archetype.
I absolutely do.
But anyways, we find out that apparently tomorrow is Founders Day. And this teacher is reminding us because, quote, that doesn't mean there won't be a test on Monday. And, you know.
I know exactly the type you're talking about.
Yeah. The kid's grown, but of course the teacher's reaction to that is, nah, you kids are spoiled rotten. Back in my day, we had it a lot tougher than you.
Yep.
Yeah. Mr. Vern is his name, by the way. He gets into a whole speech about when the seniors graduate, they're going to have to face real world responsibilities, blah, blah, blah. While he's going off, we see a girl at her desk pull out her phone and like sneakily point it at Mr. Vern like she's filming him. And a couple moments later, when Mr. Vern pulls down the projector screen up front, there's a giant photo of a greased up bodybuilder with his face photoshopped onto it.
Oh.
He's mad and like demands to know who did this, but nobody fesses up. So he decides that it's time for everyone to take the test right now.
Oh my God. As a goody two shoes in high school, I would be so mad. I'd be like, why am I getting punished for this?
Yeah, no, that's so real. I was also very good at two shoes when it came to like teachers and just behavioral stuff, and it pissed me off when like the whole class got in trouble for one stupid kid. Especially like this is including Quinn. It feels like her having to take this test right now is like a punishment for being late, you know? So she explains, oh, actually, like the reason I was late, they put the wrong room number on my schedule. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been. But then Mr. Vern cuts her off and is like, okay, you get detention.
All right. Yeah, this.
So annoying. I'm like, actually, what's wrong with this man?
The using, like, going on a power trip against children is wild. Wild behavior.
So a guy in class stands up for her. His name is Cole. But he barely gets a word in before Mr. Vern gives him detention too. So yeah, there's just like no winning here. This man has some issues.
Clearly.
The tests get passed out, but when the students open up to the first page, they all start giggling and Mr. Vern is stressed, like, okay, what's funny now? And Janet, the girl who was filming, is like, this isn't the test, Mr. Vern. This is your dating profile. And she holds it up so we can see yet another little Photoshop project.
Oh my God.
Like, yeah, Mr. Vern. I think it says like happy and horny and bodybuilder Photoshop in his picture. Like it's a lot.
Oh dear.
Mr. Vern immediately is like scrambling to get all the copies back and is screaming that if anyone sneaks a copy out of the room, he will end them.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like he deserves it, but also like, why are we pushing this?
Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't do that to your teacher. You just shouldn't. But they set the vibe that this teacher is like a genuine, like awful asshole. Right. So exactly. I can't really defend him. We cut to a group of the teenagers hanging out in an empty classroom. I don't know why they're just hanging out. This actually happens a lot throughout this movie where I'm like, where are we right now and why are we here? you know?
Yes.
It's going to be our main group of like the friend group that we're going to get to learn for the movie that's just sitting in this classroom right now. And I don't know if they're all supposed to be in detention and like held after or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, but it's just little things like that where I'm like writing the script. I'm like, wait, why are we here?
No, it's so funny. Like the things that I usually let go in movies when I'm writing a script. Now I'm like, wait, but I need to know why so I can tell you why, but I don't know why.
Exactly. So yeah, they're all hanging out and Janet is watching the video back of Mr. Verne that she recorded and she's laughing. And then Quinn and Cole are also there and we also meet our girl Ronnie, and then we meet two more boys, Tucker and Matt. They introduce themselves to Quinn and she's taken into the group relatively well, but like in a pretty realistic way. They're like nice and laughing at each other's jokes, but the movie doesn't just turn her into their best friend immediately either.
Yeah.
So they ask her what she thinks of Kettle Springs and she's honest, saying that it seems like the town is stuck in the 90s. And they're like, oh yeah, like everyone over 30 here is big on tradition. And I was like, oh, I'm like close to over 30. Like maybe you could have said over 40 or something.
Oh shit. Wait. That's actually not cool of them.
Yeah. Quinn asks them what is up with Founders Day because everyone's talking about it. She saw like the poster and everything. That question leads to us finding out that Cole, the guy who stood up for her in class, his father is the mayor. Who started Founders Day as a holiday to celebrate like corn ? He's like, I don't really know. I don't know why he started it. He just made it a holiday.
Good for him, I guess.
I mean, I love corn too. Yeah. It should have its holiday. Yeah.
You know what? I support it.
And then also Cole's great grandfather invented Bay Pen corn syrup. So it's high-key giving Riverdale.
Oh my God. Oh, not that.
But anyways, Tucker explains that every Founders Day, there's a parade where, quote, everyone gathers around the Friendo float and worships him. And of course, Quinn is like, Friendo? What?
Uh-oh.
So Cole hands over a Founders Day flyer and says he's the clown on all the Bay Pen corn syrup labels. He's practically a local legend. Janet cuts in and goes, which is why we turned him into a serial killer on our YouTube channel. And they show her one of their videos and it's giving like indie found footage. One of them is dressed up as Friendo and they just go at it and it's fun and it's pretty good. It's cool.
You know what? That sounds like something I would love to do.
Yeah.
I would enjoy that.
Okay, found footage channel incoming.
Yeah, here we go. Joint channel, everybody.
We cut to Quinn watching more of their videos while sitting across from her dad in a booth at the local diner for dinner. So she thinks they're really cool too, the videos. Her dad brings up the fact that he knows that she got detention and is like, what the hell? On the first day, that's not like you. But she basically tells him it wasn't her fault and the teacher's a dick, but like, nah, he's not totally buying it, which I understand. Like, you, as a parent, I'm sure you're like trusting the teachers at school to be good teachers. But he does let it go and is happy to let Quinn know that he got Wi-Fi installed at the house today. So like, she's very happy.
I would be happy too.
Yeah. He's like taking initiative and making the house a home. I mean, as he should as a father. But, you know, after seeing him zoned out in the kitchen that morning, it's like, it seems like he's going through something. So she just really appreciates that he's like putting in some effort here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In the middle of Quinn and her dad deciding what to order, the sheriff walks into the diner and introduces himself as Sheriff Dunn. And he immediately knows that Glenn must be the new doctor in town because the population is that small here. Every new face stands out.
That terrifies me.
Me and Caitlin consider us in small towns, but I know there's not people out here like, you're a new face.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
The level of small that this town is terrifying. The sheriff asks when Glenn's going to open up shop, and Glenn tells him tomorrow morning is the plan, and Sheriff Dunn goes, oh good, I'll probably be your first patient. I've got a wart the size of Texas I need taken care of. It's like,
thanks.
Sir, like we're about to eat, like thank you, goodbye.
I don't need to know the details right now.
No. But then the sheriff gets serious and like kind of nice and is like, hey, we really appreciate you taking up the job. Folks around here have been hurting ever since the factory burned down. And while that conversation is going on, Quinn notices that the core teen friend group is walking outside, and they stop at the window and Cole like presses against it and peers in with his hands over his eyes. And the diner waitress is like, "Sheriff," like immediately she spots them, this waitress, and is like, "Oh, that's a problem," and notifies the sheriff. Yeah. But then when we look back outside, they're already leaving, like walking by. So the sheriff is just like, "Sorry about that. We have a problem with the local teenagers lately." Which is like, I mean, they literally didn't do anything wrong just now. They're just existing in public. So at this point, it's like, I don't know. Okay.
Like, yeah, what do you mean? Like, what's been going on? I'm curious now.
Yeah. Like, are you guys just assholes too, or did they do something?
Right, exactly.
And of course, the sheriff warns Quinn to stay away from that crowd. And she's like, haha, yeah. Then for some reason, Glenn decides to invite the sheriff to sit down to dinner with them. And also, for some reason, the sheriff is like, "Don't mind if I do," and starts walking over. And understandably, Quinn is like, "Okay, so yeah, I'm not that hungry and I'm going to head out. Like, I don't want to sit here to dinner with the sheriff. Thank you."
No, that sounds like the most awkward thing ever. No. Also, with like what we just saw, she's like, "I don't think we're going to vibe."
Yes. Yeah. So, of course, Quinn leaves and heads down the street straight to her classroom buddies. And Cole is like standing there all bad boy smoking. And then he sees her and goes, "That was quick." And Quinn's like, "Yeah, I was about to assault an officer." And then Director Girl Janet from earlier goes, "Oh, Minnie Mouse is so tough. I bet Sheriff Dunn was trembling." So like suddenly Janet is just low-key a mean girl. I don't know. Like she wasn't mean before. And now she is.
Okay.
So I don't know if they like filmed this out of order and she didn't know her character yet or what happens.
Probably, right?
Yeah. But anyways, Ronnie asks if Quinn has a fake ID, which apparently she does, but not on her. It's back at home. But Matt is like, "No, we don't need it. We got guns. These guns."
Oh.
And then he does the whole arm flex thing, and I hate it. Yep. I hate it. Tucker's the one to shut that down and is like, "We don't need guns or a fake ID. We'll be fine, actually. Let's just go." And now Quinn is just going with them, and they head inside a convenience store nearby to try and like steal some alcohol.
Steal it?
Well, we'll see. So their whole plan is to create a diversion while some of them sneak out the bottles.
Oh.
And the diversion they decide to go with is Tucker and Matt fighting, like making a scene. And Tucker is apologizing for hooking up with Matt's grandma.
That's one way to go about it.
The store clerk, they do catch his attention with that one.
I'm sure.
He's apologizing for hooking up with Matt's grandma. He's like, it wasn't just a hookup. I'm in love with her. And also, I got her pregnant. It's a miracle. I'm officially your grandpa. It's a whole thing.
Wait, can you imagine? Hold on.
So the diversion does work. And the group manages to not only get a good amount of booze, but Cole also leaves some money on the counter on their way out.
Oh, okay. So it was more just like getting past the age thing than actually wanting to steal it, it seems?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we cut to like some low-key party time. We're cheersing to Otis, who is apparently, quote, "the best store clerk that Kettle Springs could ask for." And they're in like, who fucking knows where they are? They're like in a junkyard, standing around a fire pit. Yeah, knocking back some shots and then like sitting down, getting comfortable around the fire. There's like random pieces of ugly furniture for some reason. And Quinn asks them about the whole factory burning down situation that the sheriff brought up earlier. And they all get kind of standoffish, but Cole tells her he knows they shouldn't have done it, but they all broke into the factory to film one of their YouTube videos. And it was that night that the fire happened. But he swears that it wasn't them who started it. And there was a whole investigation, and it was apparently proven to just be faulty wiring. But ever since, everyone in town side-eyes them and thinks that they must have done it.
I would honestly, I hate to say, I would probably think so too. Like that just seems too coincidental.
Exactly. And this is like a big deal for this town because it's like all they have. This like corn syrup business is like what keeps the town afloat. So people are upset with them for like a lot of people losing their jobs and just like the town's little economy is not doing great anymore. I would say, as like an outsider, I'd probably side eye as well.
Right. And so this seems to have happened like very recently.
I'm so annoyed by this movie because I don't freaking like what year is it? I don't know. When did this happen? I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
My guess based on how they talk about it is maybe a month ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was in recent months for sure.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Then suddenly we hear Matt's scream come from around the nearest building. And he had walked off earlier to like go pee before. And now everyone in the group is obviously like, what the hell? What was that?
Yeah.
Matt comes walking toward them with his guts spilling out.
What? I wasn't expecting this to just be like murder all of a sudden.
Right. And Quinn is like quick to her feet, staring in shock as Matt falls dead to the ground. And then Friendo the clown is here, stalking toward them. She screams and starts to go running, but then Cole grabs her before she can get away and is like, no, wait. And she turns around and sees Janet standing there with her phone held up, giggling.
Bro, I'd be so mad.
Yeah. And she goes, smile, you're about to be a YouTube sensation.
No, see, that would piss me off.
You are not posting that.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Not allowed.
Matt stands up. He's all good. It was all fake. And Friendo takes off his mask. It was just Tucker. So, yeah, haha, so funny. I literally wrote down, I'd be so pissed. So, yeah, same page.
We're on the same page about this. Okay, good.
A little later on, Quinn and Cole have their own spot hanging out away from everyone else on some, like, couch from this junkyard. Who knows? I don't know. And the vibes are flirty and cute, and then they get really deep when he asks if it's just her and her dad. And she opens up about her mom passing away over the summer from an overdose.
Oh, recent. Okay.
Yes. And it's been hard. Her dad had a breakdown and like couldn't go back to work at the ER. So he decided to take up just a family doctor position here in Kettle Springs. And Cole can actually relate on some level, at least to the grief of losing someone too soon. His little sister died last summer too. What happened was he'd taken her out to a reservoir that they both like to swim at. And she went to jump off the cliff into the water, but she didn't jump far enough. And that was it. Yep. So like Quinn and Cole have a little comforting cuddle moment, and then their bubble is popped when Janet comes over and is like, am I fucking interrupting something? We have to post this video. We have to edit.
I can't stand her. I'm so sorry. Like I can't. I really can't do it. And she's me, which is the worst part about it. It's like,
we need to get it up now.
Guys. The algorithm. It's literally me.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Cole drives Quinn home that night. And when he is parked out front, they both just sit in the car with like little giddy stolen glances. Like clearly they are the essential romance element of the movie. She thanks him for listening to all her shit tonight. And then he thanks her. And then she goes in for the kiss. And it's going well until suddenly there's a bang on the passenger side door or window probably, and then a flashlight is shining in and it's her dad.
No, I thought it was gonna be like a friend like pranking him. No, dad's worse.
No, not with the flashlight. That's too much.
That's way too much.
But I get it, because like he's worried and angry that she's been out all night and like now she's kissing a boy and he's very overwhelmed. Like he does too much right now. He's shouting at Cole that she's just never gonna hang out with him again, and it's a whole thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which I hate. But like I get that she literally just like left him at dinner and just hasn't been back all night. So
yeah, like I get both sides of this.
Yeah, Quinn just gets inside and away from the whole situation as fast as possible. Glenn follows close behind her and slams the door behind both of them when they're in the house, and a big fight ensues that starts angry, but then it ends with Quinn emotional and like in tears because, yeah, Glenn's like, hey, it's not okay to just run off and not tell me where you're going. And Quinn throws it back at him saying, oh, like you ran off to a new town after mom died without caring what I wanted.
Whoa, girl, that to me is unnecessary, honestly. In this moment,
I agree.
I feel like that's a little much.
It feels very teen angst.
Yeah.
It's like, step outside of it. You lost your mom. That's a big deal. He lost his wife and he needs a job, and he like
exactly.
It sucks, but it's not his fault.
Exactly. Yeah.
And he's clear with her that he did ask if she was okay with coming here. And Quinn is like, well, I said we could move here if that's what you needed. I didn't say it was what I wanted. So like,
okay.
I don't know. He's definitely not a bad dad, but like they're both just having a hard time, and it's
right.
I gotta be patient with both of them.
Exactly, for sure.
So explosive moment that ends with Glenn looking like he feels really bad, and Quinn is crying now about how she like wants to stop running for once. And then when she gets up to her room, she throws herself onto her bed, still crying, but then she gets a text, and it's the link to the video that they made tonight.
Oh, yep.
So she starts watching it and she has a little smile on her face because honestly, it came together really nicely. It looks cool. But she pauses on the moment when she stands up in the video and screams, and Tucker in the friendo costume starts to run after her.
Yeah.
Because in the background of the video, on the outskirts of the junkyard, they see another friendo just standing there and staring at all of them.
I love that. Oh my God, that's amazing.
This is a good moment. I was like, ooh, when I saw this part, I was like, this is fun.
That. Clowns are fun. Listen. Yeah. Remember the 2016 Clownpocalypse?
Oh my God, I was going to bring that up. How were you affected by the Clownpocalypse?
I was fascinated. I thought it was that was right around when I started to get into horror for the first time. So I thought it was great because like to me, it was like obvious it was 99% of the time it was like kids just having fun making these videos and whatever. But I don't know. I thought it was fun.
Was there like clowns in your area that you ever saw?
I was in college when it happened, and surprisingly, I don't remember anybody like running around campus in a clown
That's
costume.
Shocking.
Like that should have happened.
Yes, because I was in college too. They sent out like emails to us because there were clown spottings on campus, and they were like, "Be safe, like walk together."
That's crazy.
I can't remember if someone actually. I think the thing was like we had clowns that had genuine like knives. And there wasn't anyone who ended up like getting hurt, but like the fact that they were carrying like real weapens, they were like people were honestly a little on edge. It was a little spooky.
No, that's a little much. I didn't experience anything like that. I just got to watch the videos of it online.
Yeah.
So
of course, Quinn takes a little screenshot and sends it back to the group chat, and we cut to Tucker getting that notification. Mm-hmm. And he's a little spooked by the screenshot, as he should be. And then we hear his doorbell ring. Oh. He gets a ring cam notification on his phone.
Okay.
So he clicks it, and Friendo the Clown is standing at his front door.
Oh, okay. You know what? It sucks because there's two, and it's like, okay, so which one is it? Is it the friend or is it the real one?
So he rolls his eyes and is like, oh, Cole's trying to get payback already. All right, let's go. You can't prank the prankster. And he loads up his little Nerf gun and ventures out of his bedroom.
Not the Nerf gun.
He like ventures out into his house. It is like, I do like the twist that this movie has on this device, where usually it's just used as stupid friends who pull stupid pranks on each other, and then like they don't take anything serious because they think it's their friend pulling a stupid prank. And I kind of hate that trope most of the time, but with like the fresh twist of it being them like recording these videos consensually together all the time, it's fun, and it like makes me accept it more.
That, you know what, that is a good way to play it. I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, he's walking around his house. What the fuck? He is walking around his house with his little Nerf gun. We go through the whole house. Lots of suspenseful music, some creaks and bumps keep us on edge. At one point, we're downstairs and we hear a toilet flush upstairs.
Oh, what?
So he's like, oh, I hear you guys. And he goes back upstairs, but nothing in the bathroom. So he ends up back in his own bedroom. But now his bedroom floor is covered in plastic sheeting.
Oh,
so he laughs.
You know what? It sucks because like I can't even get mad at him for not taking it seriously.
No, he's not being stupid. I would be the same. Honestly, the thing I would do differently though here is I probably would think that I was being pranked by my friends, or like they were trying to film a video of me. But I wouldn't feed into it. Like I would just be like, fuck this. Like, well, I wouldn't be friends with people who did that. I'd be like, guys, don't involve me in this.
I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah. But like if I was, I would probably like have my phone and like get out of the house and go and sit in my car and be like, nah, I'm not walking into that. I'm not letting you make a good video out of me. But he kind of like, he's having fun with it. Like he enjoys making the videos. So he's like, ooh, plastic sheeting. Ugh. The obvious place to look at this point is in his closet, because like that's the only hiding spot really he thinks in his bedroom. So he whips that door open with his Nerf gun at the ready, but no one is in there. But he does notice something weird, a little Jack in the Box, or rather Friendo in the box. What do I call it? Friendo in a box. Sitting on his shelf. So he's like, what the hell? And he picks it up and he starts winding it up.
Sorry.
What the hell? He starts winding up the front. Okay, no. He picks it up and he starts winding it up until Friendo pops out with like a creepy giggle effect.
Ooh.
And yeah, it's disgusting. And he does like jump slightly, but immediately rolls his eyes and is like, okay, guys, you're really stepping it up with this one. And then he closes his closet door and there's a mirror on the back of it. Ew. Revealing Friendo standing in his room with a knife.
Cute.
And Friendo literally lunges and slashes Tucker's throat before Tucker even has a chance to register that he's there.
Shit, I'm dead, dude.
Yeah.
I think I'm dead. I don't know if I think I'm dead.
You can't blame him here at all.
I really have no notes because I don't see myself doing a single different thing. Like, in this situation. Like you said you would go sit in the car. I know I wouldn't. I'd probably play into it a little bit because I'm dramatic and a little bit of an annoying entertainer. So I'd probably play into it.
That's so funny because I'm dramatic too, but I'm dramatic in the sense of like, I'm just going to sit here and what are you going to do about it? But you're like, okay, I'm playing into it. You're not going to get me. It's so funny. Like, yeah. So Tucker falls to the ground. Blood is spurting out of his neck onto the plastic sheeting, which Friendo immediately gets to work rolling him into like a little burrito.
Oh, cute.
And now
I want Chipotle. Damn it.
Oh my God, you've been going off. Like Chipotle is to you as Taco Bell is to me.
Oh, you know what it is? It's because of my like celiac. Because it's one of the few places I can still eat like fast food from.
The rice?
Rice is fine.
Rice at all is fine. For some reason, I thought that was a thing. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice that you can eat rice.
Yeah, right. Because like that's like my main food. So
yeah.
Sorry, nobody cares. I'm just like going off today. I'm so sorry.
We all want burritos. No, I'm a mess too. Like I'm like really struggling to get through whatever the hell I wrote at midnight last night. I'm like, why did I say rolling him in like a little burrito? Like what was I doing?
You were being an icon. Like what can we say?
We're at our first survivability check-in.
Oh, I mean, I genuinely like maybe I'm gonna give myself a 2% because there's got to be some room, right? There's got to be a tiny little bit of room for survival here, right?
Yeah, a little.
Oh no, you definitely gave yourself a high score because you're going to sit in the car. I'm not. I'm 100% like being such an annoying, like I'm being a ham. Okay, I'm walking back into my room and I'm like, oh guys, you put plastic on the floor. Like let me like, oh no, Jack in the Box. And like I close the door and he lunges at me and I'm dead. But 2% in case.
We cut to. Oh, I didn't even tell you what my score is. Okay, so my score is 57.
Okay. I'm okay with you being that high because you're smarter than me. So it's fair.
I mean, I took stupid stuff into account where I was like, I wouldn't be interacting with these people. I wouldn't be in a group where they like film horror videos of each other. Like that would stress me the hell out.
How can you say that though? Like you're a horror, like you're a YouTube girly who likes horror and you wouldn't be friends with a group of people who make horror YouTube videos. I think our friendship needs to end right now.
No. If you told me like at any moment I might jump scare you, that's just enough for me to be like, no. I'll make a video, but I need to be in on it. Like I don't want to be surprised. I don't even like going to the haunted houses.
See, I love that.
Yeah, no, it's not which makes sense as to why this would be more your vibe than my vibe, even though we're both into horror.
Yeah. This is fair. This is fair. I'm the kind of person, like, I jump scare my brother all the time. So, like, this is my shit. Like, yeah. I'm not going to lie. I do a little jump scare with my, it's weird because it's just like my one sister. We jump scare each other and I don't know why it's okay between us, but anyone else I'm like, don't do that. Like, that's not even remotely hilarious.
We cut to Cole's house and his parents are getting ready in their fancy clothes for the parade because, you know, his dad is the mayor, so he's got to look good. And Cole tries to leave the house, but his dad spots him and is like, where the hell do you think you're going? You don't get to go to the parade after you got detention. Yeah, and Cole's like, okay, well, everyone got detention. Mr. Vern just hates us. And his dad goes, did you know that Mr. Vern's brother killed himself after the factory burned down and he lost his job?
Okay, thanks for that.
Yeah, and Cole's pretty shocked, like, oh shit, no, I didn't. That's awful, but it's not my fault. And his dad goes, not your fault? Whose fault was it then?
Yeah, so his dad thinks, wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be rough.
So, yeah, there's a lot of resentment there ever since the factory incident. And his mom ends up cutting in and is like, no, it's nobody's fault. Go on. You can go to the parade. So Cole leaves.
I got to say, too, like, I would probably believe the kid. Like, I want to say I would believe the kids when they said they didn't do it. But I would absolutely think that they accidentally did something that triggered it.
Right. Like, because like the coincidence of you being there that night
and breaking in, like I would think for sure you did something unintentionally.
We cut to the parade and the mayor is standing up on his float giving a speech to the crowd about how today is a celebration of tradition and hard work and small town values. So woohoo, let's get this parade started.
I'm just picturing him literally up there like, woohoo, let's do this.
I'm picturing me at midnight last night typing, so woohoo.
So woohoo, I'm fucking done with this shit.
But I can't lie. The parade is pretty cool. The floats are next level. There's been a lot of work put into the whole thing. Pretty much everything is friendo themed, which is creepy. But if this wasn't a horror movie, I'd be like, hell yeah, this is cool. This is cute.
Yeah.
Quinn finds her way over to Janet and Ronnie on the sidelines and asks if they've figured out who that mystery friendo from the video is yet. And they don't know for sure, but they're sussing out Rust because Rust and Cole used to be friends. So maybe Rust is like trying to get into the group to get closer, like try to be friends with Cole again.
Okay.
And speaking of Cole, he shows up and he asks where Tucker is and if any of them have heard from him. Janet literally goes, yeah, I couldn't care less about Tucker. We're going to do another video.
Oh my God. Okay, I don't think I could be friends with her though. Like that's the thing. Like her attitude is pissing me off. Not her desire to make films. It's her attitude.
Yes. Like her number one priority, no matter what's going on, is these freaking videos. And it's like, girl, take a seat.
Sit down.
So Cole's like, what? You're going to do a video like during the parade? Like the parade is a holy ceremony in this town.
Yeah.
But like, yes, of course we are. So Janet and Ronnie tell them to start filming and that they're going to go find another angle to film from too. So once they're gone, Cole invites Quinn to his party that he throws every year after the parade, and then he gets her up on his shoulders so that she can start filming. And she films the parade, no big deal. But then all of a sudden, alongside the parade, we see a practically naked Matt in only these like little red micro shorts or boxers or whatever they are.
Oh.
And in a friendo mask, and he's riding a unicycle and juggling literal fireworks that look like these little black cannons.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Police start running after him, trying to stop him. It's the firework part. It's the firework part.
No, it really is. That's not funny.
No. So the crowd is like split on thinking that it's funny or like being traumatized. In the commotion with the police, Matt accidentally drops one of the fireworks onto the parade trailer that is covered in corn stalks, and they immediately go up in flames.
Okay.
There's a giant friendo statue being held up with strings too on this float, which catches fire. So the strings break, and then the huge, I'm saying, it's got to be like 50 feet tall. This 50-foot like friendo statue. I don't know what it's made of, so it doesn't like do damage, but like it could hurt someone a little, I guess.
Yeah.
Like falls over onto the sidewalk, and it's total chaos. The mayor is pissed, and our core group of friends end up in a jail cell. Literally down to jail.
Dude, that like, it's the fire again, man.
Yeah, right? I was like, oh, that's interesting. That fire here as well. And now the whole town's going to be like, oh, they are playing with fire again.
Our little pyros.
Yeah. They're in this jail cell. It's like a big community one. And Quinn points out, like, you literally cannot hold us in here without charging us with something. But the sheriff doesn't give a shit. And at one point, Quinn goes, ugh, I'm so dead. Like, clearly talking or thinking about how mad her dad is going to be.
Yeah.
But there's randomly this elderly man in the cell with them. And he's like, yeah, you are dead. Never fuck with friendo. So, like,
okay.
This movie is so goofy. Okay.
I mean, when the clown is the protagonist, I don't know why I called him the protagonist. You know what? He probably would be in my book. I'd be rooting for the clown. But like, I guess a little goof is expected here.
Yes. Okay. So we get a time cut then. It's not been too long, maybe an hour if I had to guess, but The sheriff comes back around and lets the kids out, and when they get outside, Quinn's dad is waiting for her, and she reluctantly walks over to him like, hey, what's up?
Wait, what's that? The Twitch alert that you have?
Oh my God, hey, how y'all doing?
It's her walking over to her dad.
Yes. Obviously, he's immediately on her case, but she's like, no, listen, the sheriff has it out for us. But like, of course, he's like, okay, the teacher has it out for you. Now the sheriff has it out for you. Like, come on, take some accountability. And we see his side here, but it's annoying.
No, it's another situation where I'm like, I get both sides of this.
Yeah. And then it sucks when he leads Quinn over to a car that she doesn't recognize that he literally bought for her. And it was supposed to be a surprise. But now there's tension and she's in trouble. So, like, no chance he's handing over those keys for who knows how long.
Oh, God. Oh, that makes me feel kind of sad for him because he was probably all excited about it.
No, it gets worse because then when she gets in, she realizes, too, that it's stick shift, which she points out she doesn't even know how to drive stick. And he's like, yeah, I was going to teach you, like it was supposed to be a bonding thing.
Oh, wait, this makes me sad.
Yeah. Aww. I feel for them. So it's a pretty quiet, awkward ride home after that. We then cut to Matt lifting weights on a bench press in his garage.
Oh, so relatable.
As one does. We already are setting the scene here. Like, I don't mean to like spoil you, but it's clearly it's time. It's Matt's time.
Yes. All right, so I 100% because I don't
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, are we both 100%? Because couldn't be us. We ain't out there lifting weights.
Y'all, have y'all seen my arms? Like, same. There's no muscle in there.
Okay, so he's on his little bench press and he's got his headphones blasting music. So when he sits up to take a drink, he doesn't hear or notice a friendo in a box get placed on his bench press. And then when he goes to like lay back down on it again, that's when he sees it. Mm-hmm. And of course, once again, he's like, very funny, guys. Tucker, is that you? But then Matt's like, you know what? I don't even care. Film this. And then he tosses the little toy aside before laying back and like bench pressing his weights and being like, look what I can do. And he's counting each lift, and when he gets to 5, Friendo the clown grabs the weight bar, like standing above him. And it scares Matt, but he's like, ugh, Tucker, you asshole. Friendo's laughing. He's having fun. He's got like a Scooby-Doo laugh going on, the Friendo. And he's just like a goofy guy, and he pulls out a bow saw. He holds it in place with the weight bar and starts pushing down. And Matt's obviously resisting and freaking out now. Like, what the fuck are you doing, you psychopath? I think he still thinks it's Tucker, but he's just like, what the fuck?
But he's like, yeah, this is a little far.
Yeah. And Friendo just keeps pressing harder and harder until one hard push sends the weight down and the saw down with it, completely behinding Matt, apparently. Beheading Matt.
Oh.
Beheading Matt. So, R.I.P.
Ooh. Okay.
It was a fun one.
Interesting. Okay, I got some things to think about there.
We cut to Quinn laying in her bed. She's not planning to go to Cole's party anymore given the jail incident. But Cole is texting her saying that he's outside and he has something for her and he really wants her to come. So she's like, all right, fine. So she sneaks out, and when she's in the car with Cole driving off, he hands her a little friendo in a box, which like...
I don't want it.
Hello. Also, if I was her, just like without context, I'd be like, this is what I came here for.
Yeah, right? I literally left my room for this. Are you kidding me?
She asks him where he found it, and he says that they're all over town, and she starts to wind it up to see if it still works, but then panics and screams for Cole to stop the car when she sees someone ahead crossing the road. And they literally almost hit him, but they don't. It's fine.
Okay.
And it's Rust, just crossing the road in the dead of night with a dead deer in his arms.
Oh, cute. Okay.
And Cole's super casual about almost like running Rust over, and he rolls down his window and he's like, oh, hey, Rustin. And Rust is all proud of his hunting victory, but Cole literally gives him shit and is like, you know, that's barely a 4-pointer. But Rust counters that with, it's a month of free dinner while my dad's out of work. So like, Oh.
Like, thanks.
Yeah, fair enough, buddy. Okay. Yeah. We continue on to the party, which just so happens to be at the very same barn that we opened the movie with. So that's like super, super promising.
I want you to know, you keep bringing up the barn, and I'm just picturing like the pilot episode of Pretty Little Liars. Like,
oh my God, throwback.
Yeah. I don't know why. That's where I keep going.
I enjoy that. That's fine.
Okay, cool. Sweet. I'm glad that you approve.
I would clarify what this looks like, but I like that you have that image.
Yeah.
Inside the barn, Quinn and Cole meet up with Ronnie and Janet. Janet's as rude as ever, referring to Quinn as Cole's shiny new plaything. But Cole breezes past that and is like, have either of you heard from Matt or Tucker?
Mm-hmm.
And the girls obviously say no. And then it like realization dawns on all of them. And they're like, oh, they must be planning something together tonight.
Okay. I can't fault them. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I can fault them.
That's what I'm saying is like this whole setup with the obsession that they all have with making these YouTube videos. It just like, it feels like we keep pushing it, but I still am like, you right.
Yeah. I can't be mad.
Yeah. So they're like, yeah, they're probably gonna be trying to film a video, pull something, so we need to be on guard. Just then the DJ calls Cole up to the mic and he goes and delivers like a corny ass speech about how his great grandpa may have invented corn syrup or whatever, but they are the future, so go youth. So like, yay. Oh. And then he gets off the stage, off the mic, and he and Quinn just start dancing together like in front of the crowd that starts cheering them on. They're like, go, go, go.
Oh.
And like, I want to melt away and die. You've seen Step Up or know of Step Up?
No.
You haven't seen those? Oh my God. It's like they're trying to be like trendy hip hop-y dancing with each other. Oh. It's so weird. Oh. I don't like it.
Wait, have you watched Prom Queen yet?
Oh, I haven't. Okay. Is there a cringe dance sequence? I mean, it's prom.
Dude,
it's
everyone who's seen the movie and is listening right now is crying. I just wait till you watch it. Just wait till you watch it.
Oh my God, I'm intrigued now. Okay. So yeah, apparently the dancing really like works Quinn up. So she then pulls Cole away to some sketchy shed in the backyard for some privacy. And she jumps him and they're making out. It's hot and heavy. And he goes, maybe we slow down? And she goes, I hate this.
No, what? Oh.
She goes, oh, you like slow kisses?
Ew,
and she starts kissing him slowly. And then he's still like slower. And she's like, oh, like this? And she starts grinding on him super slowly.
Oh.
And then Cole's like, slower as in like maybe we should go back to the party and like have another drink.
No, dude, the secondhand embarrassment is like so bad right now. I can't. The third hand, actually.
Right.
It's two layers.
The third hand embarrassment is too strong with this one.
Oh my God.
So she finally registers that like he's asking her to stop and she jumps off him and is like, oh my God, I'm such an idiot. I feel so stupid.
Yeah.
And she tries to get out of the shed, but like he quickly beats her to the door and like stops her from leaving before saying, no, it's just that I have so much shit going on inside of me and I don't know what to do with all of it. And she's like, okay, yeah, like I can see that. You figure that out and then you can get back to me. And she leaves and goes back to the party. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel her.
I definitely feel her on that. Yeah. Like, yeah, no, I get her.
He is like super vague with his statement. It's like, I don't know what that means.
Listen, if somebody says to you like, it's basically, it's not you, it's me. You're great. Right. This is a me situation. That was not a direct quote.
Of course not.
It's like, what the fuck do you want me to do with that? I'm gonna think about that. I'm sorry. Wait, we're going off topic. How's the party going?
Anyways, like Caitlin, she goes and she grabs a beer. And she
Mood. Period.
And she starts to drink on her own.
Period. Oh
my God, I'm crying. When Janet and Ronnie come gallivanting over to her all smiley and they're like, hey, new girl, you get rejected yet? Cole rejects everybody.
Oh, that would make me feel like shit. Yes.
Yeah, Quinn's like, yeah, thanks for the heads up, guys. Like, what the hell? Mm-hmm. And Janet goes, oh my God, I forgot about this. Janet goes, you're a sucker, Quinn. You got sucked into his web so that he could feast on your naive little mind.
I'm gonna the bitch slap that's coming out of the palm of my hand right now.
Oh my guys, You are so Quinn, because Quinn literally goes and pushes her and is like, fuck you.
Uh-huh.
And they look like they're both about to square up and like fight when a scream comes from the nearby cornfield.
Ooh.
And they see like some girl come stumbling out. So they're like, hey, you good? She's not good.
Oh.
She falls face first to the ground, revealing arrows impaled into her back.
Oh my God, Hard Eyes. What's he doing out there?
I did think that. I was like, aw.
Love that.
Quinn is about to scream, but Ronnie puts her hand over Quinn's mouth and tells her to stop. And Janet is like, Matt and Tucker, remember, this is obviously a prank video. And this time you're not going to fall for it. So, yeah, the girls walk on over. Apparently this dead arrow girl is named Ginger. So Janet's like, oh my God, Ginger, did you die? And they're just like inspecting the body up close, impressed by Ginger's acting, dedication, and the arrows, the whole thing. And then a whistle comes from the cornfield, and suddenly a severed head gets thrown over to them.
What?
Lands on the ground beside Ginger.
Okay.
What would your reaction be there? What would you? That's got to take you out of it, right? You got to be like, oh shit.
I think it's like on the spectrum of like, this is a prank to this is not a prank. I've definitely shifted to not, but I'm not 100% there.
Right. Like there's a small leeway.
There's still a little bit of like, oh, damn, like they're really dedicated this time. Where'd you get that head from, you know?
Yeah. So this head has a clown mask covering it.
Okay, definitely.
So obviously Janet unmasks the severed head and it's Matt.
Okay, we're done.
She gasps and lifts it up and is like, oh my God, guys. They made a plaster cast of Matt's head. Ronnie, think fast. And she throws Matt's head to Ronnie.
Stop. No, she didn't.
And Ronnie catches it and then gets sprayed with like his neck blood and guts.
No, I think at this point I'm probably not on this prank train anymore. There's no way it doesn't look like real. Like it's obviously it's a real head. Like you can't create a real head. Well, I mean Hollywood these days, but like your friends aren't going to be able to do that.
Exactly. So Ronnie catches it, gets sprayed with all the blood, and then she's like, what the hell? Ew, so realistic. Like, you know. Meanwhile, Quinn's like, guys, why can't I feel this girl's pulse? Like, Ginger does not have a pulse, you guys. And it finally dawns on them that this is all real.
Okay, so they got there.
God, they got there eventually. And so screaming ensues, and they all huddle together as Friendo comes laughing and squeaking out of the cornfield, strapped with a crossbow.
Legend.
And some random partygoer guy comes up next to our three girlies, and he sees Friendo and is like, oh, hey, check it out. It's Friendo. And then Friendo aims and fires the crossbow, instantly killing the boy with a headshot.
Why'd I laugh? What the fuck was that?
Listen, you told us Friendo is the protagonist, and you're sticking with it.
I am. So sorry.
So now it's chaos. Now everyone at the party is screaming and running and everything. Most of the party moves into the barn and locks itself in, like specifically and conveniently locking the three girls out. So they have to run around the back, which they do try to do. But when they make it to the side of the barn, Rust is standing there with his gun raised, and they're like, oh. Shit. Yeah. And Quinn literally tells him, please don't. And he screams, duck. And they're like, oh, okay.
Oh.
So
I got it.
They all duck, and Rust takes a shot at Friendo, and he hits. And Friendo falls dead to the ground.
Oh, no. Oh, no. This isn't good.
Rust asks where Cole is. None of us know. There's no cell service to call 911, and apparently, according to Rust, all of the tires to everyone's cars have been slashed, so we're stranded.
Oh, perfect.
At the very least, we get to unmask the clown killer, right?
Oh, no.
No, we don't. We don't get to. Because just as...
Wait, this is not going where I thought it was going. Or maybe it's still is. I don't know.
I don't think it is, because just as Quinn's about to take off the mask, a chainsaw starts buzzing, and it makes them all look up at the cornfield again. And it's another Friendo, this one with a chainsaw. And, actually, he has some friends. It's not just another friendo. It's 3 more friendos.
Oh, okay. Nope, that's not what I thought was. I thought we were going to do the basic, like, that was our friend that we murdered.
Yes.
And here, okay. That's what, that was what they were going for, I'm sure.
Exactly. I think they wanted to walk people into that.
Yeah.
So now there's 3 more friendos coming out of the cornfield, and Quinn's eyes keep darting around the edge of this cornfield, taking it all in. And just kidding, it's not 3 friendos, it's 5 friendos. And then actually it's 7 friendos. And I do stop there. 7 frickin' friendos.
7? Okay. I'm not liking my chances.
What do you think is going on?
I mean, wow, that's a great question. I haven't even really thought about, I don't know. We're like talking about such like a corny, that was not a pun. A corny movie that I was just like waiting for, just like the stupid, like, I like to kill. But it's, what if it's like the adults of the town or something?
Okay.
I'm sus of the teacher. Like, I don't know. Ever since you talked about the teacher, I just have like a weird feeling about him, but maybe that's also an intentional lead by the movie. I'm not sure, but I don't know why, because the clown existed in the 90s, right? So it's like, it's not like this is like a revenge plot. Like, I don't know. I feel like this movie could go a lot of different ways at this point, so I'm not sure.
I will say that I had the exact same line of thinking as you. Like, when all those friendos popped up, first of all, I was like, oh, this is really cool, because I'd never seen anything like this before. I was sitting there like, holy shit, this is not looking good. But then I was like, oh, it's got to be like all the old people then.
Yeah.
Okay. Quinn is shocked, and her line delivery here is hilarious. She goes, holy shit, that's a lot of friendos. Like, that's how she says it.
Yes.
And the friendos all start running at us. They're actually pretty fast. They're pretty fast.
They speedy.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be speedy. It's like speedy zombies. Don't like those.
Oh my God, no.
We've talked about that before too.
Speaking of speedy zombies, I have to beg you also to get to Train to Busan.
Oh, that's on my list. The only reason I haven't gone there yet is because I want to do it for a video, but I've heard that copyright's a nightmare.
Oh, I was fine.
Oh, you did it. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Noted.
I have a reaction up. It was fine. People are just going to love that reaction. It's such a good reaction movie.
Okay. It's moving up the list now.
Hell yeah. Okay. The friendos are running at us. Rust gets a couple shots in, blows one of their hands off, but like there's so many. So Quinn's about to get beat down by one of them with a bat. They all have different weapons, but before she gets hurt, Cole shows up and whacks the friendo with like a pole or something. And then grabs her, and they all start running away. So yeah, now's not the time for fighting. I agree with them. Like, we just got to run at this point.
Yeah, I'm always on like team run. Yeah, especially like with a cornfield. Like, I feel like you could just like run and hide.
Would you run into the cornfield?
Okay, I'm unsure of the environment. I guess I'm picturing a barn in the middle of a cornfield.
It pretty much is. They like had to really drive out to this barn,
right? So, because like I just watched a movie and I got on the main character for hiding in the one like house available, because I'm like, I think running into nothingness is just safer because there's more space and like it's easier to hide. Whereas like if you go in the barn, for example, it's like, well, they know you're in there.
Yep.
So I'm very much like a run into nothingness kind of person.
Okay. The whole group decides to run together into the shed that Quinn and Cole were making out in before.
Right. Okay.
Just barely closing the door on the friendos behind them. So it's like, it's not a hiding situation. It's just like a running barrier situation. Absolutely. Like, we need to get away. And this is when we get a cut back to Glenn, Quinn's dad.
Oh.
At their house, and he's going into her room to apologize.
Oh, this poor father, dude. I feel so bad for this guy.
He's out here ready to have a heart-to-heart, but very quickly realizes that he's talking to pillows stuffed into her bed.
Oh my God, stop.
And his reaction just like, oh, fucking teenagers. And then he like walks out.
I feel so bad for this man.
I know. But now we can at least assume that he's going to be going out to like try to track her down, which is good. Back in the shed, we're all panicking, but our one saving grace is that at least Rust has that shotgun.
True.
But he only has 3 shells left.
Okay.
Still better than nothing. But
definitely.
The only thing is the clowns are making pretty decent progress at taking down the walls of this wooden cabin, like with their weapons.
Yeah.
So Rust, out of instinct, just starts firing away.
Oh.
Yeah, and 2 shots, he fires off 2 shots back to back, and it does sound like one of them gets a hit, like he takes down one of the friendos.
Okay.
But Cole stops him from firing the third, and he's mad. He's like, what the fuck? Now we only have 1 shot to get us out of here. How can you be so fucking stupid?
Jeez.
And then Rust yells back to Cole, no, you know what? You're stupid because you threw away everything we had. For what? And then Cole's like, no, we never had anything. And then Rust calls bullshit. And then we cut to the girls sitting on the side and they're all like, oh.
OT.
Like, that's why you won't hook up with us. Anyways, Cole is busy gay panicking when the group discovers this vent in the ground. And it's apparently a drainage ditch, like a little sewer tunnel. So, ew, but whatever. It's a big win for us. We need to get out of here. They decide, though, that they also need to distract the friendos somehow because they are going to realize once they get in that they just escaped through here. And this doesn't go super far. Like, it just gets them far enough.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like, we need a diversion. Back to Quinn's dad. He is leaving messages on Quinn's voicemail and slowly driving through the streets trying to find her when he sees something a little sus. A window has been busted open in the local convenience store. So he pulls over and he goes in to check it out. Bold move, but like, I get it. Because it's like, yeah, maybe she's here. Like, what are these stupid teenagers up to? You know?
And he's worried. So it's like anything like that. I don't blame. Yeah, that I get that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as soon as he steps foot in the store, a friendo appears behind him with a knife to his throat.
No!
And tells him to move. So, obviously, he complies.
I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to be so mad right now.
He gets led to a back room where the friendo who got his hand blown off by Rust Shotgun, he's lying on a stretcher and there's like medical equipment around.
What?
Yeah. And like the other friendo is just behind him and like leads him to this clown on a stretcher. And he just is looking between these 2 clowns and is like, what's happening?
Oh my God, they need a doctor.
Yes.
What?
So the friendo goes, save him or your daughter dies. So
it's crazy. If you're the doctor here, you're like you're gonna do it, but you're also like, what the fuck is this? What are you guys up to?
Yeah, like it was comical, his delivery of like, what's happening? Because it's like, yeah, this is just ridiculous.
This is like, what kind of like kinky thing did I just walk in on?
Back in the cabin, our group is casually making like a makeshift bomb.
I'm sorry.
You don't know how to do that.
I don't think I do, actually.
I believe that Rust would know for some reason. He's giving makeshift bomb and not in a bad way, just in like you've been up to some stuff in the middle of the woods, just blowing shit up.
Anybody's ever like been referred to as like, oh, he's giving makeshift bomb. He's just giving. I
have to say it's not my type, but like I'm not into the makeshift bombers, but
me neither. Actually, what are we doing? Sometimes we start these bits and I'm like, what are we like? Who are
How did we get here? No, so he's making his little bomb and the girls start dropping down into the sewer and Cole is about to follow, but he asks Rust, like, are you sure about this? And Rust is like, yeah, I love blowing shit up. I told you.
So yeah, okay.
He's going to stay behind and detonate it. But first, he hands his shotgun over to Cole and reminds him that there's only 1 shot left. The movie is so like in your face about 1 shot left.
Okay.
Cole tries to take a second to apologize to Rust about just everything because, shit has hit the fan with them now too. But there's literally no time. The clowns are almost through the walls and Rust screams at him to go, so he does. The 3 girls and Cole manage to get through the sewer tunnel and come back up above ground not too far from the shed, maybe 50 yards. They can see the friendos, but the friendos can't see them. Like they're 50 yards behind them now.
Okay.
And the friendos are like distracted by the lawnmower contraption that is oddly rolling toward them now that they have broken through the wall.
Is this comedic?
I can't tell if it's supposed to be, but like a little.
I'm just like picturing like Home Alone, like that kind of energy of like the weird shit that Kevin makes. And then like Marv and Harry are like, what the fuck?
No, yes, like the whole lawnmower of it all is giving Home Alone for sure. And so these friendos are looking at it like, what the hell? And then it blows up in their faces. None of them die. It's just like, I mean, because it's a makeshift bomb, like it's just like poof, you know, like it's not going to do any real damage. So they just like get knocked to the ground and are disoriented and everything.
Okay, yeah.
Cole's stressed because he doesn't know where Rust is or like if he's okay, but Quinn doesn't let him ponder. She's like, we have to go now, and the plan is for all of them to run a mile through the cornfield to the closest house, which apparently is owned by the Tillersons. Okay.
All right. I probably would do that. Again, I'm all about running and trying to find help that way.
Exactly. Like, we just need to get to a phone, basically.
Yeah.
At the very least, or like hopefully they're home and they can help or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So back to Glenn, he's still just performing surgery on a friendo while the other friendo watches. And he makes it clear that he should really take this guy's mask off because he's having trouble breathing. But friendo's like, no, mask stays on, no exceptions.
Are we dealing with male voices up to this point?
Yes.
Okay.
All of them, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, curious.
The friendo's got this little walkie-talkie radio, and a voice comes through saying, "We've got more incoming." And this friendo's like, "Yeah, that's fine. We've got the doc here." So it looks like Glenn's about to have a long night.
Yeah.
Back to the cornfield, our group manages to make it out the other side, or they don't make it to the house that they were looking for, but they end up making it to like a road.
Okay.
So they're like, okay, a road, like maybe, and then even better than that, a car is driving down it.
Oh, see, that always makes me nervous.
I know. So they quickly jump out and wave their hands, flagging them down for help. And that's when the police sirens turn on. And Cole specifically is like, oh, shit, please don't tell me it's the sheriff, because the sheriff hates him specifically, but like kind of all the teenagers. It's the sheriff. And as soon as he clocks Cole with a gun, it's just game over. Oh. There's no getting through to him. The whole group is screaming and yelling, trying to explain what's going on, but all the sheriff does is confiscate Cole's gun, then literally handcuffs and arrests Cole.
I'd rather be arrested right now. I'm not gonna
I'd be
lie.
so happy.
I'd be like,
yeah.
Take me.
Please.
Absolutely.
Put me in a jail cell. Mm-hmm. The most annoying part is when the girls are trying to tell him that they're literally being attacked by murderous clowns and need help. And then the sheriff's reaction is, oh, I'm not falling for another one of your little internet video pranks.
Oh, man.
And you cannot be mad at him.
Nope. And you can't. You can't.
So with that, the sheriff drives off with Cole, and the girls are left by themselves. And they're annoyed because they, toward the end there, they were like, arrest me too. And
yeah,
like,
yeah,
not today, not today.
Not today.
Like, oh, okay.
Maybe tomorrow.
So we're at another survivability check-in.
Damn. Wow. Okay, we've had a lot. So like it started with the workout guy, right?
Yeah, Matt.
He had more time, I think, than the first guy to react. But it doesn't sound like he really was in a position to react, because if you're holding up a bar, what else are you gonna do? There's nothing else you can really do. I
feel like anyone, no matter how strong you are, you're gonna be overpowered just from that position. It's easier to push down than push up. You know?
You're gonna be shit, dude. This is so silly. I should not be dying to clowns.
He did, though. Like, again, we're half joking when we say it couldn't be us because we wouldn't be on a bench press. But like, also he did sit up and he saw the friendo in a box. And he was like, whatever, tossed it and went back to weightlifting. Would you go back to weightlifting? Okay. Yeah. I would not.
See, again, I think it's the same thing like where you said you go to the car and I'd be like, haha, guys, I think I'm still going to play into it.
Yeah.
Shit. All right, wait, what else is there? Is there anything else?
Death-wise, no. I will say, though, that this is like, we're at a point where even though no one else is dead yet, there were many, many chances where they could have been.
Absolutely. Like a lot of combat moments and stuff.
Yeah.
So honestly, like it's tough because like with the workout part, I think I'm dead. The other parts, I think I run. Ooh, I'm gonna go with like a 21 on this one because I think I'm like absolutely dead with the one guy, and then this like there's 7 of them, and I don't know. Like I think I would have run. I think they would have caught me. Like I don't think this is going well for me. I'm gonna have a really low score today, and people are gonna judge me for it. But I'm just like I'm not trusting myself.
I think you're probably being more realistic than me in this situation. It makes sense where my score falls here based on where yours is. So you said 21. I'm at 43.
Yeah.
I just don't think I would have died the way that Matt did.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm 100% on that situation either. Then it just helps that they are actually sticking to the whole power and numbers situation. Like they're really good at sticking together and figuring shit out together.
Yeah.
Whereas so many other movies would have them splitting off at this point.
That's
and like
true.
Rust did get left behind, like to deal with the bomb. But other than that, I do feel safer in power and numbers, and they've gotten through it. So I feel like as long as I stuck with them and just kept on the run, like we're okay at this point.
I do feel like, okay, I think I miscalculated in my brain now that we're talking about it. I'm going to bump it to a 35, which just because I think, I just think I did math wrong in my head, quite frankly.
Okay.
Because I was thinking like under 50 for them or around 50 even. Yeah, I'm going to just do 35.
Okay. That feels right too.
Yeah. I don't know. This one like shouldn't be hard, but it is for some reason.
I agree because I can't tell if I'm being cocky or being a wimp. Like I really can't tell.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know.
Or what is the right place, like spectrum end to be at? Like,
yeah.
I'm really curious about what like the community score is going to be for this one.
Yeah, this will be interesting.
So now it is time to get back into the cornfield and return to the original plan. We're back with just our 3 girls now. So unfortunately, yeah, Rust left behind with the bomb. Now Cole's been arrested.
Yes.
So we have Ronnie, Janet, and our main girl, Quinn. So they're like, okay, we have to just go back to our OG plan of finding the Timmersons' house. I will say I literally would die in this cornfield because I'm not going to lie, I have 0 sense of direction.
That's also such a mood, though.
Yeah. I can barely make it out of like a corn maze around Halloween time.
With paths and there's like kindergartners running by.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where are we? Who am I without my GPS? Dead.
Ooh. So if the clowns know where they're going, they probably got me. Okay, they're doing their best. They're finding their way through this cornfield until a chainsaw roars to life and a clown comes running after them in the cornfield. You gotta have it.
Yeah.
So they run. Another thing that I think would be harder than it looks in the movie, like running through a dense cornfield. I'd be tripping left and right.
I think that's so true. Like people like, because like corn stalks they're strong. It's not like they're like these wimpy little, it's not like a wheat field. It's a corn stalk. And you're making a shit ton of noise too.
Yes. Like you can't just run and hide.
Exactly.
If you're already found here.
Right.
So, but they keep running until they can't hear the clown anymore. They can't hear the chainsaw, and they think that maybe they've got him off their trail.
I'm sure.
I would not make that mistake. So they kind of crouch and go into stealth mode. And actually, this is probably my favorite shot of the movie. There's this one moment where Ronnie is having a hard time keeping her breathing under control and staying quiet. So Janet cups her hand over Ronnie's mouth. But then Janet is also struggling to keep her breathing down. So then Quinn cups her hand over Janet's mouth. But then Quinn is also struggling, like not hyperventilating. So then Friendo shows up and cups his like gloved hand over her mouth.
That's so good. I love that.
Yeah, that is fun. So she's like, what the fuck? And then she looks and sees it's Friendo, and the chase starts up again, except this time Ronnie doesn't get away. She gets impaled through the gut with a chainsaw.
Oh.
Yeah, that's an RIP to her. But
damn, okay.
Quinn and Janet, that's a rough one. That is
rough.
Yeah, I'm low on that one.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's got me dead. I'm scared.
Yeah. But Quinn and Janet manage to make it out of the cornfield, and they make it to the Timmersons' house. Oh. And Janet rings the doorbell at first, but Quinn's like,
why is it Janet? Sorry. Why?
What do you mean? Oh, the mean girl. Yeah.
Like, why does Janet still have to be here? Why didn't she die first? Of all the people. Sorry, that I interrupted you. I got overwhelmed.
That's a mood. That's a valid crash out. I don't know why she's still here when, Ronnie Ronnie was kind of her little lapdog, I will say. So yeah, but they make it up to the Timmersons' door, and Janet rings the doorbell, and Quinn's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And she just walks them both straight in there, like, we're done with pleasantries. We need help. Once inside, they're like, "Okay, we need to find a phone." And when they turn the corner into the living room, they see a man sitting on his recliner, except he has a clown mask on and he's soaked through with blood.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Janet goes, "Is he dead?" And Quinn replies, "Well, I don't think he's meditating." So, like, great. It looks like the killer clowns have covered all their bases, killed anyone in town that might have been some help to them tonight.
Wow. Okay.
Very thought out. Then they hear a phone ringing from upstairs. So they're like, holy shit, let's go. They run up there and answer it. But as soon as they do, the line goes dead. But it should be fine because let's just try to call 911. It sounds like the person hung up on them, not like it's been cut.
Okay.
Which is weird, which is still weird. But
yeah, got you though.
They're like, okay, so let's just call 911. But they can't call 911. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
Because this is a rotary phone and they have no idea how to use it.
No, that makes me angry. We're
not that dumb.
No, that's the thing. Like, people younger than us know how those work because it's not that complicated.
Yes.
Did they start, like, poking it? Please tell me they don't just
Yes, they're like, where are the buttons? What kind of phone is this?
No, that makes me so angry. I can't. Okay.
It's so annoying. This moment gets a lot of discourse, like I've seen on Letterboxd and in like the YouTube comment section where I had to buy this movie. People were like, I know how to use a rotary phone, you know? And I'm like, yeah, that's an annoying moment.
That's an unnecessary kind of dumb moment, but whatever.
But then they're immediately distracted by the wall above the phone decorated with pictures of them, the core friend group, and then a shit ton of news articles, and there's pictures of friendo clowns standing and posing, like, together hanging out.
Ooh.
And some of the news articles are about teenagers that have been killed that we aren't even aware of. Yeah.
What?
And these articles seem to go back a long time.
Wait, and we don't
recognize these other teenagers in these news articles.
Okay. I mean, well, I guess that okay, no. I'm gonna let it play out. I'm curious.
Yes. Okay. Then there's a friendo in a box that starts playing music on its own on the dresser nearby. And finally, Quinn is like, oh shit, this is a trap. They run back downstairs, and this time when they pass by the living room, the clown that they thought was a victim in the chair is gone.
Oh, no. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate it.
And Janet goes, oh shit, he was meditating. And that is when a fully costumed up friendo comes stomping in with his pitchfork, shoves it clean through Janet's midsection, just like the guy in the movie's intro, and then lifts her up to the ceiling with it, all the way to the point where she slams into the ceiling and shatters like a lamp fixture, and she's getting electrocuted by the lamp.
Oh my god, I gotta see this.
It's pretty fun. What's wrong with us?
No, I was about to say that. I'm like, oh, I gotta see it. You're like, it's fun. And then we both paused. The way we both went, hold on.
I blame funny games. I blame them.
You should. You really should.
Yeah, so she's just up there getting electrocuted. And Quinn's been knocked to the side, but she grabs something nearby. I don't know what. People are always grabbing things in this movie and whacking people, and I don't know what they're holding.
Fair.
But she whacks the friendo, who falls back, and Janet falls back to the ground too. The pitchfork is still just standing tall, like stuck inside her as she lays on the kitchen floor. And she's freaking out to Quinn. She's like, is it bad? Is it bad? And Quinn's like straight with her and is like, yeah, it's so bad, girly. And just then, the friendo that was momentarily knocked out comes to and stands up. So Quinn's like, well, fuck. And she says to Janet, I'm so sorry, and then proceeds to yank that pitchfork out of Janet and turns it on the clown.
Oh my God. Okay. I mean, yeah, but
Yeah. So she skewers the clown successfully. He falls down beside Janet. Now he's the one impaled with that pitchfork sticking out. And Quinn stares down at the both of them like in shock. And Janet says, I hate you, Quinn. And then Friendo says, me too. And then they both go limp.
Yes. This movie is so silly and I love it.
It's so silly. And it's actually more fun like telling you the story than I thought it was going to be.
No, I'm not going to lie. This episode is slaying right now.
Yes. But oh my God, last night and this morning I woke up early too to like still work on the script. And I was just like, this fucking movie.
This damn movie.
They're so stupid. But no, it is fun, stupid in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel like I probably am enjoying your storytelling of it more than I would enjoy the movie itself.
That's like, possible.
I really do. I love hearing your stories. It's fun.
Yay. Also I will say though, that crazy move on her part to like take that pitchfork out and use it against the clown. I don't think I could have done that in that moment. Either. So this is lowering my score as well for this final section.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because like it's impossible to know because like the things people do and their lives are at stake. Like
true,
you know, like it's very possible that we would easily be able to do that if we truly were in that moment. But like thinking about it, it's like I couldn't have done that.
Yes,
so
that's true. So that was traumatizing, but it's time to go. So Quinn grabs some car keys off a hook by the door before leaving, and then we cut back to Glenn.
Oh, right.
Who's just
forgot about him.
Still working on the surgery, and when the friendo that's keeping an eye on him is looking away, he messes with the wires to cause a flatline on the machine to happen. So when it starts beeping, the friendo's like, hey, what's happening? You need to save him. And Glenn's like, I need your help. Come here. Take these. And he's handing the friendo like those things you rub together and scream clear, like those paddles.
Yes.
Which apparently in real life, you don't rub them together. Did you know this?
Oh, no.
I just read this randomly somewhere on the internet. If anyone knows for sure, I'm just like, oh, that's interesting. Why do they always rub them together in the movies and shows? Yeah. But I think in real life that you don't have to do that.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know. I'm not knowledgeable about these things.
Yeah. Anyways, the friendo is panicked and sets his knife down on the stretcher before taking the paddles and looking down at his friendo friend. And Glenn takes the opportunity to grab that knife, stab the friendo in the neck, successfully killing him because the guy is an idiot and he immediately pulls the knife out and blood just spurts everywhere.
Gross.
Yeah. So once he's dead on the floor, Glenn takes friendo's walkie-talkie and hears people on it saying, the girl is tougher than we thought. Get her to the Bay Pen factory and we'll deal with her there.
Oh, okay. We got a location.
So, yes, thank God Glenn sets off, headed for that factory.
Right.
Back to Quinn. She's running outside the Timersons' house and finds their truck. But when she gets in and turns the key, yes, it starts. But she realizes it's stick shift. So she's like, fuck.
Call back.
I didn't write it, but I think she has a line where she's like, when your dad wants to teach you stick shift, you let him teach you stick shift. Like, okay, girly. Really regretting that right now. But on top of that, she's slowly being surrounded by friendos coming from every direction.
Oh, boy.
Like, slowly. They're not running at her, but, you know, she's being surrounded.
Yeah.
And one of them ends up completely crashing through the, like, glass partition on the back of the pickup truck right behind her. Grabs her, drags her right out of there.
Ooh, oh, okay.
We then cut to her being dragged along the floor of the factory until she's propped up against a wall and she's looking around, seeing about 4 friendos gathered around her. And she asks, who are you people?
Yeah, I want to know.
One of them leans down over her and takes off their mask, revealing it to be the sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
And he goes, welcome to the main event, sweetie pie. And
sweetie pie.
The other 3 clowns take their masks off too, revealing themselves to be the convenience store clerk.
I figured that guy when you were talking about the convenience store, like how the medical supplies were all there. I was like, convenient.
Yes. Yeah, smart. The teacher.
Yep.
And then the waitress from the diner that they were eating at.
So as of right now, it sounds like we both were kind of like on the
it's got to be
track.
them.
Like it was like,
and then it's them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we'll get into it.
We'll get there.
So good for them, I guess. They're really having a good time tonight. Trudy, the waitress, is like, "Oh, can we get a move on? I got to work in the morning." And Mr. Vern goes, "Work? This is work, and it's the best job I've ever had. Dream job corps. I don't know."
Dream job corps.
Quinn swears and like literally like she's like, "Fuck." And then the sheriff's like, "Hey, watch the language," and then proceeds to stun her with a cattle prod.
Oh, cute. Okay.
And she screams, "Why are you doing this?" And a new friendo enters the room from the rafters above and goes, "Because it's a Founders Day tradition."
Oh.
And this clown walks down to us, and he's not masked up like the others. He's got some like OG face paint and like a tweed suit on. So he's clearly the leader here.
I see.
And Quinn recognizes him as Cole's dad / the mayor.
Oh, yeah, checks.
Exactly. It's like, oh, yeah.
Kind of like, I've watched many a movie where the reveal happens. You're like, okay, yeah, that's kind of. Yeah.
Exactly.
It like, this movie to me isn't about the reveal. Like,
good.
You know, because like the reveal to me is like, yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
Okay. And when she says it, she goes, "Oh, you're Cole's dad." And he responds, "Oh no, Cole's no son of mine. I disowned him."
Okay.
So here's the motive that the mayor gives her.
Okay.
Basically, his generation really cares about this town and they want to keep it pure and good, but every couple of generations, there's a bad crop. Apparently, they had to kill a bunch of, quote, hobos that rolled into town on the train in the 30s.
Oh.
And then they couldn't stand the hippies that showed up in the 60s. So they killed them too. And then the 90s teen burnouts were like, obviously they had to die. But, oh my God, Gen Z, their generation with all their preening and their cat videos might be the worst of them all. So it's their turn to die so that the town can remain strong in its good old small town values.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that's a really great place to be.
Yeah. And the mayor has this whole delivery where he's like putting on a show. So he literally pulls a lever that drops a curtain behind him to reveal his son Cole strewn up in a noose. But he's standing on top of a car. So like he's not hanging, but as soon as that car gets moved out from under him, he'll die. Yes. Again, Quinn screams, "What's wrong with you? He's your son." And the mayor gets mad again, saying, "He isn't my son, not since he killed his own sister. She drowned on his watch. He took everything from me, everything I cared about, and then he burned down the goddamn factory. My boy's just a bad seed, and now daddy has to start all over again."
What?
Like, what's happening?
What is happening? Dear God. All right. Yeah. It's like giving like the over the top, like goofy as all hell villains. Like just like not a thought is happening up in the brain.
Yeah. Quinn screams at him that he's insane. And he's like, "Hey, I'm just doing what my daddy did before me and his daddy did before him. It's tradition." So another classic line from Quinn, she goes, "You really think you're going to get away with this?" And the mayor's like, "Yep, we've got the suicide note ready to go live on his socials tomorrow morning." Another spoiled... Who posts that?
Yeah, what are you talking about? What do you mean by that?
They're so old. So
they are.
Another spoiled rich kid shoots up a party until finally ending his spree by killing the girl that rejected him and then turning the gun on himself. He's so proud of himself. But like, sir, I fear this is not a revolutionary plot. You're dumb.
I don't think it is.
So this whole time, Cole has been gagged with a bandana, but he manages to get it out of his mouth, and it's his time to scream at his dad, and I'm so sorry. It's nice what he's saying, but I do cringe at this speech.
Oh, boy.
Okay. It could just be me, so let me know if I'm just like, I don't need to be this cringed by it.
I'm gonna cringe, guaranteed.
Okay, he goes, "You just pretend to care. You're so worried about what's wrong with the kids when you guys are the ones that fucked everything up. You don't care about the earth. You don't care about the next..."
I'm having a physical reaction in my back.
Oh my God.
I can't.
You don't care about the earth is the craziest. Okay. You don't care about the next generation. Well, guess what? The world's going to change whether you like it or not. And I know that scares the shit out of you because if you can't have things the way you want them, you'd rather burn it all to the fucking ground. You'd rather just kill us than listen. Okay. So some social commentary here.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clunky.
It's so clunky. Not only is it clunky, but it's so overdone too that it's like I've seen, like, even when we did There's Someone Inside Your House, we had a very similar kind of theme going there, like with like the rich kids and all that. But like, yeah, no, that I didn't like that.
It's hard because, well, first of all, let me just say I don't think I would be thinking about the older generation not caring about global warming while I'm being strung up by a noose thanks to my own father.
Literally.
That's one thing. Yeah. But like also just in general, I think where the movie falls apart a little bit for me, not that you're supposed to like, it's not that serious. Like this is supposed to be just a fun whatever movie. Mm-hmm. But it feels very much like older people writing for younger people, and it's like a teenager just wouldn't talk this way.
Exactly.
So, and I will say that there's also like a huge amount of telling instead of showing when it comes to just like character dynamic and themes that they're trying to hit.
Yeah.
So yeah. After his speech, the friendo crew is like, well, yes, we would rather kill you than listen. So anyways, and then the sheriff gets his gun and is like, time for you to die, Quinn. But just as he's about to shoot her, of course, guess who comes crashing in with his car?
Ayo.
Just through the side of the building. It's Glenn. He's here to save the day. And actually, his entrance causes a bunch of machinery and like weapons to go flying all over the place. And he kills two of the friendos.
Oh, hell yeah.
The store clerk and the waitress.
Okay.
So yeah, the store clerk gets his like skull crushed by some metal beam, and then the waitress gets impaled by a metal pole. So R.I.P.
Cute.
Quinn's dad, sometimes I call her Quinn's dad, sometimes I call him Glenn, I don't know why, tells her to run away. So she grabs the cattle prod and goes running through the factory, ending up in a creepy friendo merchandise room, of course.
Yes.
Before leaving, she tells her dad to help Cole, but we see the mayor go, I'll take care of Cole, and then tell the sheriff to go take care of Quinn. Then the mayor successfully knocks out Glenn, then gets in the car under Cole, the car that's under Cole, and starts to reverse it out from under him. And then we cut to Quinn, and she has found a hiding place in this creepy room when the sheriff comes bursting in with his gun, and he sees like the blood trail across the floor. Yeah. And he laughs to himself, going like, see, this is the problem with your generation. You all think that you're smarter than us. And then he gets to the end of the blood trail and pulls back some clothes on a rack and takes a shot at a friendo costume mannequin. But then it's just a mannequin. So he's like standing there dumbfounded when behind him we see Quinn unmask herself in her full friendo costume that she got into.
Yeah.
And she says, you got that right, before stabbing the cattle prod. Oh my God, this was actually fun. What's wrong with me? Stabbing the cattle prod down into his throat and like frying him from the inside out.
Ugh. Icky.
Yeah. Rip sheriff. Oh, and I did want to include, because I know that you would appreciate this, he kept calling her sweetheart all the time. Yeah. So then she adds on at the end, and I'm not your fucking sweetheart.
Yeah, I would appreciate that, because I literally had that moment the other day on stream. I don't know if you were there. Someone called me sweetheart, and I straight up was like, don't call me that.
Yes, literally, I thought of that moment, and I was like, oh, I have to tell her that she says this.
Yeah, it's so demeaning. Like, I don't know if it's supposed to be, but like, dude, sweetheart is so demeaning to me.
I agree. I don't even like it in like a pet name sort of way. Like even in a relationship, just the word is ruined a little bit for me.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Back to the mayor. He's actually having trouble moving the car out from under Cole because there's so much junk everywhere now. So he has to like get out and try to move stuff around. It's kind of awkward.
Good for him.
And while he's doing that, Cole is like, it was you, wasn't it, who started the factory fire for the fucking insurance money. Business was bad and you were losing money, weren't you, Dad?
The insurance money.
It's always the insurance money. Like, that's so random.
Always the insurance money.
Like, it's weird because they set up the factory as like the beacon of this town, and it's what has like kept them afloat all these years. And then it's like, business was bad, wasn't it? And I'm like,
that doesn't make sense. What the fuck?
So the mayor's like, damn, okay, you're not as dumb as I thought. But anyways, I'll see you in hell, son. And he's apparently made a clear path now. I don't really, listen, I have to say I was scrambling a bit at this part, but he somehow makes a clear path and he gets back in the car and reverses straight out of the factory until his car is literally out of sight. Like, okay, goodbye, I guess.
Bye.
And Cole is like struggling in his noose.
Oof.
But thankfully, Glenn has come to and rushes over and tries to hold like his feet up and like balance him and everything to give him enough room to breathe. But it's not really working. Like Cole isn't looking good. But then Rust comes charging in and takes a shot at the rope with his last shotgun shell.
Yes.
So that Cole drops down to the ground and is saved. Yay, cute use of the last shell.
Love that.
I don't know. Well, cute is interesting, but anyways.
This movie's cute, we say.
Cole gets his breathing back and takes the noose off, then realizes what just happened and is like, oh my God, Rust. And the music swells and Rust walks over to him and they kiss.
Oh, how
it's like, okay,
cute.
Yay, cute. Yeah. So happy for you. Quinn walks in to the room and sees all of them, and she sees them kissing there, and she smiles like she's happy for them, but also it kind of turns into a grimace, and she says to herself, such a confusing fucking night. I get it. She's like, I started the night really liking him, and now some of us are dead. We almost all died. Yeah. And now I'm happy that you're making out with Rust, who I was creeped out by. Like,
I know.
There's a lot
happening.
But anyways, she runs over to her dad. They have a moment. Obviously, they're very worried for each other. And he's like, hey, promise me that we'll learn to talk things through better. And she's like, yes, I can't wait. We'll work on our communication. They're hugging. Very cute. The four of them all help each other up, arms around each other's shoulders, and we limp out of this factory as survivors. They find a creepy friendo-themed work vehicle outside, so they all get in, and Quinn gets in the driver's seat. But then, of course, when she goes to drive, she realizes it's a stick shift. So she's like, I can't do it, Dad. You have to drive. But he's like, hey, it's okay. You're going to do great, sweetie. But like, side note, is now the time to learn? I don't know.
Right.
But he's like talking her through it, and she's cruising, we're driving, everything's fine, until one more friendo pops out on the dirt track with a chainsaw, which by process of elimination must be her teacher, Mr. Verm.
Yep.
And her dad's like, you got it, get him. And she does. She ups the gear and runs Mr. Vern clean over. So all of them are dead, except the mayor literally got away.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but okay. We then cut to a year later.
Oh.
I know. Like, what happened to the mayor? I don't know.
Wait. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah. So basically what you need to know is Glenn is now running for mayor. Rust and Cole are in a very happy relationship. And today is the day that Quinn leaves for college. So Quinn and her dad are doing much better. They're much closer. They share a loving goodbye as she finishes packing up her car. And Rust and Cole also stop by to see her off too, and they give her a going away gift, which is a 16-inch collapsible self-defense baton, which she finds to be really sweet and is grateful for.
Yeah, okay.
And then the movie ends with her driving away on her own. But when she looks in her rear view, she sees that there's a friendo in a box toy sitting on her back seat. So she's like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And she grabs it and she looks at it, obviously freaked. But then she shrugs and is like, whatever. And she throws it out the window. And that's it. That's the movie.
Oh. Listen, here's what I'm going to say. The first two acts were so good.
Yes.
I think it only falls apart in the third because it just gets like too straightforward in a way. I feel like everything that you thought was going to happen happens, and then it gets even like cheesier than you expected.
Yeah.
So like in terms of like the plot, it's like, okay, like this is just another movie. But I mean I like the clowns. I love a clown movie.
I knew you'd love the clowns.
I love Pennywise. I'm a big It fan. Like I like it. I think it just like I feel it's just almost like the plot. Like I wanted them to do something a little more clever, which is not what this movie is about. It's not a movie that exists to be clever. So it's like I can't really fault them for that.
And maybe more than ever, it makes sense as to why this is a young adult horror book.
There you go. You know what? That's true. Now that you're bringing that back into it, it is giving that absolute energy young adult book. Yeah,
that makes sense. So yeah, I think it came and did what it was supposed to do. I'm sure it was a decent adaptation. I think there was also like some telling over showing was happening because it was struggling to adapt from the pages. But I will say I really loved like the twist of the 7 clowns coming out of the cornfield. I was like, oh my God, because it's giving cults, and I think it's cool to like blend the genre of slasher and cults. I like that. But then, yeah, for me, I was just, by the time you get to the end of it, you're like, okay. That was fine, I guess.
Right. I think it's just like the whole explanation part that like falls off for me. But with the young adult book reminder,
yes,
it makes so much sense that it feels that way. So I get it. I am gonna give this one a watch for sure, especially like because the deaths sound really fun. I love me some, fun kind of. That again sounds so messed up, but like I love a fun death in a film. Yeah. So I'll definitely watch this one. And I think honestly, I loved your telling of it. So I feel like that was fun.
Oh my God, I hope the movie disappoints and you're going to be like, oh, your storytelling is just so superior to these professionals making a movie.
I think it's going to, if we're going to be so real. In terms of survivability, like, okay, so we lost the 2 girls in near the end in this 3rd act, right?
Yes, Ronnie and Janet.
I think those, like, I'm not doing well because they're quick and there's not a ton of reaction time. I mean, I'm not sure with Janet, like, was it the same way? Like, she couldn't really do much there?
No, she was, they, like, realized that guy was missing, and then all of a sudden there's just a pitchfork through her. Yeah. Like, it happened so fast. I'd give myself a 0% just for Janet.
Gotcha.
Ronnie, I don't know. There's a little bit more wiggle room of how you handle trying to get away in a cornfield.
That's true. And then, like, the other, like, after that, I'm not going to say, like, oh, yeah, I'd survive, but I feel a lot more confident with the rest of it. And that's probably has to do with the fact that they survive. So, like, when they survive, you look at it and go, okay, if they can do it, And I feel like their combat wasn't crazy.
Yeah, could you stick a cattle prod down someone's throat?
I wouldn't have gone that route. I wouldn't have. Would I have used it as a defense? Sure. Would I probably have tried to hit them and they would have grabbed at it? Although,
yeah, that's like a really stupid detail to cling on to. But I think if we're gonna give it a realistic "would I survive" lens, like she literally brings that cattle prod up and just like boom, like straight aim is perfect right down the throat. I'm like, I would not have. I'd be shaking in my boots, and I would not be able to just like have that aim. Like I probably would have been overpowered in that moment too when it came down to her versus the sheriff.
Her versus the sheriff, you're right, might not have gone well for me. So I feel like looking at what I have here, I'm going to go, I don't know if I'm going too low in this movie, but I'm going to go 28 for the 3rd act here.
Okay. I gave myself a 15 for the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because maybe I could get away in the cornfield, but it's not that promising. I definitely couldn't get away if I was Janet. And then if I'm not feeling confident in myself in my 1v1 versus the sheriff. So,
yeah. Oh,
yes. Okay, I'll explain.
Yeah.
So, we're going to try something new again. Neither of us know if we'll end up sticking with it or not, but we're just trying new things. And we decided that we're going to put a different weight on each score that we give throughout the movie. So the 1st act survivability score is worth 1, and then the 2nd is worth double, and then the 3rd is worth triple, so that there's a little bit more emphasis in the 2nd and 3rd as we get deeper into the actual conflict of the movie. If you want to play it that way too, you can Google like weighted average calculator and just put the weight in as 1, 2, 3 for survivability scores 1, 2, and 3. That's how we're doing it. And my weighted score based off of my 3 percentages is 31%.
Oh, so we ended up actually a lot closer because mine is 26.
Okay. This will be interesting to see with the weighted score, because now I'm like, okay, now, because with our scores before, we were getting stuck around the 60%. And then now I'm like, with this new weighted score system, are we just going to get stuck around 30% every time? Right? You know what I mean?
Well, what's interesting with this one, though, like my lowest score was the first act. I had a 2.
That is interesting.
In the first act. I actually pull myself up with the weighted, which is not what we were expecting to happen here.
Yeah. That is true.
We were trying to pull ourselves back down by doing weighted. Yeah. But this is a rare case. This is not how it's usually going to be.
But also maybe that's good because it would be nice if movies kept surprising us like that, where it's not always the formula of like 150, 0 going into like each act.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to avoid.
So yeah, we're just going to keep on trying and see what like the weighted scores do for us. Mm-hmm. And if we like them, I've talked about too, like maybe eventually we'll just end up having those talking points after the first, second, and third act where we're doing survivability check-ins, but then we just kind of like go off of our gut and give our own score again for what our final one is. Right. But I think we should try a couple of times with weighted and see how we feel about it.
Absolutely. Like we're just experimenting with it to like see what works best. And like honestly, I mean, I don't mean to speak for Cassie, but like I would love to hear your thoughts on it, like on our Discord, like what like seems to make sense to you guys. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, we're just going to do whatever works like the best for us and what feels the best. But like, I'd be curious to know how people feel about like the best way to like get like a true score that makes sense at the end. Yes, you know, it's tricky. It's tricky
and gives you like a unique score for different movies, right? I guess. Because that's how it should be. But okay, wait, you said 28?
26 was my weighted.
Okay, 29%.
29. Yeah,
that's a cute one.
It is a cute one. I'm glad we're kind of low on this one because to me it just makes sense. This one, there's just like so many unexpected moments of just like, and there's a murder and it's gone. And we had no chance to really make
exactly. So I think 29% feels very right because it's like, it's low, but it's not like 12. It's not like crazy low where it's like
it's not impossible.
Yeah, but we're probably not making it out of this one.
Probably not.
So let us know your thoughts on the movie. You can also check us out on Instagram at I'd Survive Podcast. All of our links are there, as well as to our Discord. And on our Discord, we would love for you to submit your own scores and let us know, would you survive?